in Bristol, Pennsylvania at LRA Auto Museum and Sales with Rob Leipziger. Rob, what a collection of automobiles you guys have here. I mean, I was chatting with you earlier from one truck, one tow truck to all this, buddy. Congratulations, and tell us about your awesome collection of vehicles.
Thank you. Um, as you can pretty well see, I'm a Chevy guy. Putting it, I mean,
We're going to get along, Rob.
no, we will. But overall, I mean, I just love the muscle cars from the muscle car, and as you see here in the collection, is probably some of the best cars that you're going to find. I would say definitely in the country. Saying that, I mean, from this, 69 fully numbers matching, Copo Chevelle, originally there's less than 300 of them that were ever produced. This car originally was one of 18 sold out of Canada. Funny part is, the car was sold out of Canada, was made right here in Baltimore. But there again, we have all the original paperwork for the car. I mean, that's just a great four-speed, bright colors. I was really interested in this car because it matches my 69 Copo Camaro, which they roughly made around 210 of those. Matter of fact, that car was was the gentleman that started the Copo program for GM. That was his demonstrator. I've had that car probably 6, 7, 8 years. But there again, it's numbers matching, original motors, and that's what I really stride on. The cars that have not been motors blown up. And when you look around here, we have the 375 horse 396 cars, the 427, the Copo, the Yanko. It was impossible, almost if you miss a gear, not to hurt the motor. So we got a lot of nice things. The little Chevy pickup truck, the 99, of course, that's the original John Langenfelder truck, world champion. Where he went to the world champion, didn't win in 99, runner-up in the finals. But that's the real truck. We ended up buying that from General Motors when they started to get into their little trouble back when the economy went bad. But that car has been mothballed and been dry since they put it away. This one here, in case you are a Chrysler guy, this is one of 40. It's they built 98 Hemi GTX cars. This is one of 40 with the drag pack. But here again, all original body panels. Only thing has done to it is it has one repaint. Interior is original. This was a nice find. The Boss 429 here, that's all numbers matching, 27,000 mile car. There again, that only had one repaint. And I got yelled at for that one because when I did buy the car was all original, but it was starting to pick up a little bit of rust in the quarter. It looked like it was definitely hit in the left side door, not real hard, but the body line wasn't perfectly done. And me being as kind of picky as I am, we painted it. So
it looks spectacular.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. But there, we have this little 67 RSSS. It's, as a matter of fact, Jared Benicia was just here to certify this car. Great car. It's probably, by what he's telling me, it's probably one of less than 100 that's still left and consistent.
Less than 100?
Yeah, less than 100. It's a factory traction bar car, which is pretty neat. I've never seen one. Like when we grew up, you put traction bars on the car on the leaf springs, you think that's what it is. There's a bar welded right to the frame that hits the bottom of the floor, and that's what the traction bar was. So that's a really cool piece. This Corvette, this is gorgeous. It's a 69, fully numbers matching, including the original carburetors, side pipe, 427 4-speed, leather interior, 410 gear car, 32,000 miles on that car. Still have the original mileage on the title. So that's a neat piece. This is my first one. Took me roughly a 68 Chevelle. I looked for one of these for 8 years because this is kind of what started this whole sickness, or whatever you want to call it, I have developed over the years. Madness, sickness, whatever you want to call it. But when I grew up, I used to sit on a curb, 13 years old, and there was a Texaco gas station right at 5 Points that one of the fellows that was a mechanic there that used to always work on his car and fly down Woodburn Road. I watched him shift that car like there was no tomorrow. I used to bet, was he going to miss third gear or not? But he had a 396, 375 Ford Chevelle. It took me 8 years to find a numbers matching with the original motor because, like I said earlier, the solid lift camshafts, when you miss a gear, if you don't get your foot off the gas pedal pretty quickly, you're definitely going to hurt the motor, as many people that grew up in this era know. But this one, it's funny. left here on a Friday night. Car was on the other side of Flint, Michigan. Drive 14 hours, took one of the flatbeds. And I asked the fella, he worked for General Motors at the time. And I asked him, you sure it's a real car, numbers car? He goes, I work for GM. I know what I'm looking at. I said, well, what is it, a high number one, number two? He goes, I'd say it's a number two car. I get out there. After driving 14 and a half hours, the bottom's painted white like they did back in '69, back in the days. Car had Flowmaster exhaust on. I was like, live it. I thought to myself, I guess I might be leaving without this car. So finally I said to him, and I just didn't even want to talk to him anymore. I said, you got your paperwork for the car? And he brings me out the collector plate and all the paperwork. And the funny part is the car was sold from Reman's 5 minutes from my house where I live to a gentleman in New Jersey May 26 of 68. So at that point I had to bring the car back. So that's it. That's where we started.
But it's all special stuff, and it's all very meaningful, and it means a lot to you, doesn't it, Rob? I mean, each piece has its own story, but they all mean something to you, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just like the LS6 in the corner there, that's got 4,800 miles on it, original miles, 80% original paint. That's just a neat car. It's just the cars that we try to collect, or what I try to collect for myself, are just the ones that you just really can't find. And then you'll see in here we got some of the newer things we're starting to mix up in here. We got the, one of the sad things here, and I pretty well bought this, because I know what the movie meant to my kids. And, as they started to grow up, they were just Paul Walker, which his car, the little Evo, is the stand-in car, which means it wasn't the action car. It was all the standstill shots that were made in Fast and Furious 2. Paul Walker and his girlfriend, or whoever it may be, this is the car they used in the movie. And the funny part, this car was consigned to an auction before he was sadly killed in this car accident, probably 2 years ago now, almost 3 years ago now. The car was already consigned. The car went through on a Wednesday night. Nobody was really there to bid on it. I know what it meant to the kids and the generations of the new kids getting into the cars today. So we ended up bringing this home and have it out here for display for people to come and see.
Is it for sale?
No. I bought it for the kids.
Yeah.
It's what it is. And then, of course, next to it we have a 2008. That's one of the last cars that Cal Shelby actually signed himself before he passed away. That's a 725 horsepower Super Snake. So there again, as kids start to get older, like I'm into the love of these muscle cars. As generations change, history repeats itself. The cars that they're coming out with today are the new type muscle cars. That 2012 Copo. That's one of 69. That's car number 28. That's probably one of the most cars that I get asked, do you want to sell that one? Because between the new Pro Stock class coming out and just people that have been successful and now are coming into their 40s, getting in the drag racing, and NHRA's promoting the Mustangs, the Camaros, the Hellcats to keep the sport going.
Is that for sale?
No. I shouldn't say that. Everything's for sale, but it's not going to. The problem is, I'm a typical car guy. I get emotionally attached. So say now, when you come in here, I could sell a car, but it would be super, super hard to replace it. And I've been in the business and around the business long enough to know that you can't always believe what you read. Do your homework. You're spending a lot of money. Make sure you're getting what you say you're getting. And that's one thing that I'm really careful about, even when we sell somebody something, that we sell them what we're telling them we're selling, because people work hard for their money, and that's the worst thing that can happen is you take advantage, especially if you go to auctions to buy. You just got to be careful. And they tell you that 1,000 times as you're walking around and looking. So
as far as going to auctions and helping people through that, will you go with them? Can they pay you to do that and come along? Because clearly you're an expert at this and you've been doing it a long time, and people need to take advantage of that knowledge. And would you even consider something like that or no?
No, I do it. I mean, usually I'll have customers that will contact me, friends, people that are looking for a good car, and say, Rob, keep your eye open. If something's there, call me. Or I'll go along with them. And, and that way, and I tell people, take your time, and especially because I mean, I've been fortunate. I got a chance to surround myself with a lot of great cars, but some people, it's one car, and that's all they're going to be able to do. So you want to make sure you take your time, and it's the car you really wanted, and you wanted to spend the money on. And I have no problem helping people.
So, traveling around this beautiful place, walking through history with you, Rob, thank you so much for having us in here today. I really appreciate it. And if people need to get in contact with you, where do they go?
They can just give a call. We're here every day, 215-781-3790.
Webpage?
Webpage is LRA Auto Museum and Sales, and it goes right to us.